Welcome to the Real Estate Ripple, where every conversation creates waves in the world of real estate. We're your hosts, Megan Wetland,
Christie Marowski,
and Joe Madrano. We're here to bring you honest insights, practical tips, and powerful stories from the front lines of real estate and lending.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, we're here to help you stay current, stay inspired, and keep growing right here in the Joliet market and beyond. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Real Estate Ripple. I'm Christy.
And I'm Joe. Today we're focusing on one of the most powerful tools in a realtor's marketing toolkit. Can you guess? It's professional photography.
Oh, definitely. In today's fast-paced market, your photos are totally your first impression, and in many cases, your only shot at grabbing a buyer's attention when they're shopping around online.
Yep, and that's why we're excited to welcome Corey Krakowski, the co-founder of Vizimage Productions, LLC, a media company that specializes in real estate photography, video, and visual marketing that helps homes stand out and sell faster.
Corey, welcome to the Real Estate Ripple. We're so glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Let's start with the big picture, Corey. The big question that I have is, why does professional photography matter so much in real estate?
Well, I think it's the first thing that people see. So if the actual home is what you're going to buy, you want to make sure that it's something that you love. And obviously we, as professional photographers, have a duty to go out there and get that thing pictured up. And so you guys can post it on, or the realtors can post it on, all of the channels and promote it properly.
Well, and also today, people are shopping online first. Like when my clients reach out to me, they will a lot of times have found the house themselves. If a house has bad photos, those houses get overlooked, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you see it. You see the foot traffic. You see how long it's been on Zillow or whatever it may be. It's listed for 40 days. Well, what do the pictures look like? Is anyone going into this house? And are we getting the foot traffic in there? So it's important, and it's funny because sometimes people will message us after, realtors will message us after and say, hey, the clients love the photos so much they want to buy the house back. So
yeah, I got that before.
Yeah. So it's like,
amazing.
This is our house, which, some clients will get upset because they're like, hey, it doesn't look anything like the photos. But it's like, it's our job to get someone into the house and promote the house and get those beautiful images so that people are excited about it. You want someone to, you want people to go out to the home, and the easiest way to do that is to get beautiful photos of it. So.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm speaking from firsthand experience. I know that when I was buying my house, looking at things online, like what you just said, Christy, is like, you pass on a house because the photos were grainy, they were dark, they were not in frame, there was clutter behind things, and it just didn't look like a house that I wanted to even see, because everything else that I was looking at was professional photography, good lighting, it looked very presentable, crisp and clean. It's like, okay, you look at the pictures, the house with the ugly pictures might actually be a better house or a better fit, but
yeah.
You don't even give it a chance because it wasn't presented the right way.
Exactly. Well, another thing too is you're buying a used home, so you're buying a home that someone's lived in, and if we're taking photos, and usually with professional photography, we have a sheet that we go through to tell you how to stage it, to properly present the home. So as a prospective homeowner, someone who's going to be buying this home, I'm more inclined to buy a house that looks like it's kept well, that looks like it's that the person that's living in there cares about it. And when you have professional photos and someone that's training you how to properly clean the house so that it looks good, you're going to think, oh wow, they took care of this. I mean, buy a used car. You want to make sure that the car you're buying is kept in good shape, because you don't want to have to fix things when you move in or right when you buy it. So having those professional photos that give the illusion even that the house is well kept will obviously help you out in the process of actually selling the home.
Right. Closing those toilet seats. I mean, come on.
How hard is it?
Exactly. Get the dog out of the frame.
Yes.
You don't want to know you have a dog necessarily in your home. Have you seen specific examples where great photos have led to quicker sales and better offers? Or have realtors come back to you and said, hey, thanks so much. Like this, I feel like this house really sold due to what we had on the photo side.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a tough thing to gauge because I mean we've had homes where they were listed for sale by owner or they were listed without professional photos for 3 or 4 weeks, and then we come in and do the photos and maybe some. Usually when we're getting called in for that, they go all out. It's like, this house has been listed for 3 weeks. We didn't have photos. We need photos. We need video. We need the 3D tour. We need the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we've had situations where we come in and do all of that and the house sells very quickly.
Right.
So yeah, of course. I mean, it's marketing. Marketing works. There's a reason why every major Fortune 500 company spends millions and billions and trillions of dollars on marketing.
Right.
Because it works.
Well, and adding into that, I was just showing a house the other day. My clients ended up not wanting to write on it, but my clients and I were talking, the photos just did not do the house justice. Mm-hmm. And it, like, the order in which the photos were placed online and all of it, my clients, like, I had a hard time following the floor plan. Oh, wow. You mentioned you do videos. Yeah. That was the agent was like, what suggestions do you have? And I said, you got to do a video. You got to be posting this out there, do a virtual tour, because my client liked the floor plan. It just wasn't exactly what they wanted because they're at a high price point, so they're being pretty specific on what they want. But yeah, the videos and the photos are so crucial, and that house would sell.
That's such a great point you bring up with the floor plan. So one of the things we train our photographers is we want you, so obviously corners of the room, we want to make the rooms look bigger. We want to give people an idea of what they are walking into. So there's no confusion on, okay, the kitchen was over there and this is the living room, but how do I get there? So our job is to make sure that each angle of the house will give you a story of how the house is laid out.
How
and then
it flows.
Exactly, because that's huge, especially with the open concepts of everyone so wanting that nowadays. And we have floor plans that we provide too, which is really important to get the layout, but I'm a visual person. I can't look at a floor plan and imagine that. So for me, I need to see the photos to match that up.
Most people are visual.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Which is great that I'm in this business. So one of the things we offer on our website is you can actually arrange the photos very easily on our website to the order of the house. And before we deliver the photos to our agents, we will obviously put the front of the house at first and then kind of organize it.
Do a walkthrough.
There's a flow. Mm-hmm. You want the flow because it's important, and then you end with all the backyard exteriors. So, I think that's extremely important to show off the flow of the home because that is very important to the people that are buying the home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I did see the house went contingent. I gave her that suggestion. She changed stuff around, and I was like, "Ooh, good. Okay, go Realtor."
Yeah. Well, that kind of brings me to my next point. You're talking about, and all this information is great. But I know that there's some people over there that are thinking, well, I could do this myself. Yeah. And they probably could, but are they going to be effective? So if somebody comes in and handles the photos themselves, what is the biggest difference between phone photos and what you deliver?
Yeah, good question. Phone photos are getting a lot better. They certainly are. There's a couple issues with phone photos. Phone photos do have HDR on them now, which is just basically a complex way of saying that they take a multiple burst of photos and then they blend it together. So if you ever take a photo of your phone of somebody, you can actually go to like the live images and you could see that there was like 30 photos taken. Well, typically what they do is they blend all those together and they edit them together and they give high-end exposure and low-end exposure. So you're getting the highs and the lows. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. They're working out great. The problem is when you go into a home, the lighting, like even in this room, you don't necessarily want, like, there's like halogen, there's like really like
could be harsh.
Not even harsh. It's the color tones. Yeah. So you mentioned earlier, you talked about how it didn't do the house justice. Well, if there's a really unique paint color on the walls, and we're using like these type of light color to show off that paint color, it's not going to actually give you the true color of the walls. Right. So people are going to walk in the house, these walls are purple. Right. On the photos, they were gray. Well, that's because they're not using a flash. So we use a high-quality flash. We take a photo with the flash. We take multiple exposures with the flash. We take multiple exposures without a flash, and then we blend those all together. You're going to get true colors, especially like in hardwoods. It's really, really difficult to get good color on hardwood from just your phone.
It looks yellow a lot.
For sure. Uh-huh. So colors is the main thing. Framing.
Yes.
Really important.
Oh, my gosh.
So framing is like 90% of what we do. We just
Right.
talked about it. You want to know the layout of the home. If you're not framing a house properly, you're taking photos of. I've seen up close photos of sinks. You're like, no, it's just a normal sink. What are we doing?
Right.
Here? So you're wasting the consumer's time. If I see a picture of a sink when I'm going through Zillow, you're like, just fast. I'm out of this. I'm out of this property.
Yeah.
So you're losing interest there. And in this world, people lose interest very quickly. So.
Right.
I would say color tones, framing, time. I mean, as a realtor, your job is to sell homes, talk to clients, be therapist. You don't need to be doing photos of homes. You're not a professional at it.
No.
So another thing is like you could go buy a professional camera. But now you're talking about
You don't know how to use it.
you don't know how to use it. So you're using the auto settings on the camera. You're actually better off just using your phone at that point.
Because it's smarter.
It's just smarter, exactly. So there's a lot of reasons not to do them yourself. But again, like I've had situations where there's people that do themselves and they still sell the property.
Yeah.
So if the property's nice, you could still sell it. But what does that say about you as a realtor if you're not willing to market yourself to the best, you market these homes to the best of your ability?
Uh-huh.
Right.
It is your job to sell the home. So if I just take the photos because it doesn't matter, well then why can't I do that myself? So,
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
I have
it's-
a rule for my client, like for my business, is I always use professional photography. And I say, I'm not the professional in this category. You don't want my photos. Like, could I do it? Of course I can snap and shoot a photo, but I'm not trained in that. I see what my photographers do, but I don't have the eye for it.
Yeah.
You know, and so for
Perfect,
me, in my toolbox for my clients, I say, I'm covering your photos.
Yep.
That's what I do. And then it also, as a realtor, I come in with my professional and it makes me look more professional because then it's, I'm coming in with a crew. I'm bringing in a team. It's
sure.
not just me coming in. And like you said, doing what anybody could do. Like anyone could do it on their phone, but I truly feel like anyone could buy a camera, but not everybody can take the photos
They don't know
that
how.
a professional
Yeah.
photographer can take.
For
'Cause
sure.
It's the site. It's the training that you have.
Well, there's a couple things that go into it too. One, like you're not an inspector, you're not an attorney, you're not a finance person. So it's
Right.
like you have to be able to have people on your team and that you refer out that you trust that you can say, yeah, this is what we do to get the job done for you. This is what we do. So and back to that point of not having to do it yourself. I honestly, personally think when we're selling our service, the time to me is the most important part.
It's so
of it.
valuable.
Yeah.
It takes me on a normal house 45 minutes to an hour to shoot like a 3,000 square foot house.
To do it the right way, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's everything staged properly and everything like that. And I'm sure we'll get into that later. But if you're doing that and then you have to go and edit the photos, that's going to take you, if you don't know how to do it, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're not editing your photos, then you're just putting out a bad product. So
Right.
there's that combination.
Corey, I just want to back up for a little bit because when you mentioned framing, the image that popped into my mind, I go on vacation quite a bit with my family, and there's times where I'm like, hey, I'll ask a stranger, hey, can you take a photo just real quick? And then they'll snap it, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a great photo. I look at it, it's like our heads are at the very bottom of the frame, and they took the entire sky.
Yes.
Like, you missed us. You took the sky. Like, framing is so huge.
For sure.
And it just like, that's what I thought of when, you have to almost look at the camera and make sure that what you're capturing in there is something that the end person who's viewing it is something, it's going to be interesting to them, right?
And
Some
that's
people
funny
just don't
too.
understand that.
Well, a lot of the times the realtor's at the house, and we need the realtor to stop the homeowner from walking into the picture. So it's like so if
It's
you're
a hide and seek
yes,
game.
so if you're taking the photos, who's stopping the homeowner from coming into the pictures?
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
that's
gosh.
the job. So
Right. I mean, and also too with the whole framing thing, when I'm taking clients on a showing, like a buyer on a showing, and sometimes when people do it on their phones, they think I'm going to use a wide lens and I'm going to make this room look really big. But then you walk in and your clients are like, I thought this room was going to be way bigger. Like you want to give a clean, clear, professional view of what the place
Yeah.
looks like, but you can't make it look like it's bigger than it is because
sure.
that's going to be misleading and you're not going to get offers. You're going to get a lot of showings, which
Yeah.
is going to be a pain in the butt to your seller, but I mean, they're going to be excited. And then when it doesn't turn into offers, they're going to be like, wait, why? And it could be that it looks smaller. So
Yep.
having that professional photographer who knows, don't make it look bigger, make it look nice and clean and clear, show the room, is important.
Yeah, and it's the lenses on, obviously the lenses on the iPhone are not. I mean, our camera lenses are $3,000. Like that's almost more expensive than the camera. So, and it's definitely more expensive than an iPhone.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, you're just when you zoom in on a camera or zoom out on a camera, you're going to get that pixelation on the iPhone. So you just definitely don't get that with the with a professional camera. That's
Totally.
sure.
Let's talk about preparation. Mm-hmm. You said that, there's kind of a list that you guys give, but if a realtor has you coming over to help their seller, what would you want them to tell? What would you want them to tell their seller to do prior to you showing up in order to get ready for the shoot?
Yeah, there's a lot. Again, you want to pretend that you're doing an open house. Someone's coming to view your house. We need to. This is like we're showing up at 10, and if we're there at 10 and you're still mopping the floors, which we've had happen.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's horrible. And now what that does, and I'll get back to your question, but now what that does is it puts our photographers in a really tough position where we're losing track of what photos we took. So that's when things start to get missed. Oh, we didn't get the half bath on the first floor. Well, she was mopping the floors, and then I had to go to the master bedroom, but then the master bedroom needed to have the dog kettle moved over to the guest bedroom, and then we had to move it back because then we needed to take photos. So then you start getting this convolution, and then now it's 20, 30 minutes later, and we should have been out of the house already, going to the next appointment. So those types of things will make it very difficult for the photographer to do their job because now they're thinking about things outside of the scope of what they're actually there to do, which is take photos of the home. Now they're organizing and rearranging. And then on top of that, they have to make sure that, we move this object on the counter really quick. Okay, now I'm taking that photo. Now that's on the counter. Now we have to virtually remove that. And it just becomes a big convolution. So in order to stop all that from happening, I like to say, pretend that you're doing an open house. You want to clean the entire house. You want to make sure all of and it's just like, when you're showing a house, you're telling them, maybe take some of your family photos off. Make sure that we're not taking photos of that because you don't want those in the images. Right. Clean everything, toilet seats down. We like all of the lights on. We may turn them off at one point, but it's nice to just have everything on.
Lights on, fans off, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Fans off. And the reason the fans need to be off is we do take multiple photos and at different shutter speeds. So not to get too technical, it'll make it look like the fan is like extremely blurry on the top because we have to blend all of those photos together. So fans need to be off. Windows typically open, and then we'll decide whether or not windows need to be open or closed. So,
like open for the air to come in, or just the drapes?
I'm sorry,
the curtains.
The blinds.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. And then back to the point too about people taking their own photos. Next time you guys are looking at photos and you see a vacant homes are extremely hard to shoot, even on a professional standpoint. Especially with hardwood floors, there's no furniture to soak in all the light. So you're gonna see it next time you see on Zillow or something. You see a vacant house. You're gonna see the floors are extremely just difficult. Color casting looks horrible. It's difficult for us to shoot vacant homes. So I can't imagine what someone who isn't professional going and trying to shoot a vacant home. So.
So speaking of, different spaces, do certain rooms or spaces require extra care or focus, in order for it to look the best on camera?
Great segue, Joe. So back to the vacant homes. Yeah. So hardwood floors on vacant homes are extremely difficult. We have a special polarized filter on our camera that will, when you spin it and turn it, it actually will stop that color cast from happening. Oh. It's really cool to watch it happen. So that's one of the things we do to stop that. Bedrooms are extremely easy for us to shoot. So as long as the bedroom has furniture in it and everything's properly staged, I love shooting bedrooms because it's just like literally it's like you pop one with a flash, and then you can just really do two different exposures. And watching it edited together is really cool too. To watch those two exposures happen. Bathrooms, I think we mentioned earlier. The toilet seats are just so funny, and then a lot of people will leave like their dog food out and stuff like that. So we got to make sure that stuff's put away. So.
Right. What's your take on staging? If someone were to try to do some staging in their homes, like do you guys come in and say, I want a pop of color in this location, or like to draw the eye to there, or are you like, however you live in your house, as long as it's clean and decluttered, that's what we want? Because like what I typically tell my sellers is you live in your house one way, in one cleanliness, and then you show your house in another cleanliness. But then when we're photographing, it needs to be to the extreme. So like as a realtor, I bring a basket and I'm like, okay, toss some stuff in the basket. I'm going to run out of the frame. We're going to take the photo. And then I know that basket goes back in the kitchen and my client can then start putting all their stuff back, like, what's your take on, like, do you think that a client should start staging their houses before you guys get there? Or are you like, just make sure it's clean and then we'll tell you where the pop of color we think should go?
So at the bare minimum, obviously declutter and clean, for sure. I would love working with agents like you, where that staging happens. We have one agent that stages pretty much every house we do. I would highly recommend staging if possible. I think it's, of course, you want it to look like a magazine. So if we can stage and do that, fantastic. We're not giving any direction into that because I don't want to step on a realtor's toes if they're telling their client one thing and then we're coming in there and telling them another thing. So we'll leave that direction to the realtor. If it's a for sale by owner, we might make some suggestions in that regard. But I love when things are staged. It makes the photos easier to take. When we go back to vacant property, the more stuff we can get in, the better something's going to look. Set decoration. So like, set decoration is huge in film. So even this video right now, I'm shooting into a wall. Like if we were staging something like that, I would have put like a plant back here or a photo. It just makes things look better. Right. So whenever you can stage, fantastic. Virtual staging is getting really popular now because it's getting a lot easier.
That's what I was just going to ask you about virtual staging.
Go ahead, Joe.
So just like you mentioned, it's really taken off, and vacant home, for example, or an empty basement or whatever it might be. Number one, does it make sense? And number two, if it does make sense, walk us through with what you guys do. As your company, do you just advise? Do you pull? How does that even work?
No, good question. So, back to how difficult vacant homes are, and that's really where we're seeing most virtual staging. There's virtual staging, but that falls under an entire category of like virtual removal. Like we've removed trash cans from the front of the house, stuff like that. So that whole virtual category, let's just bulk into one. Virtual staging in regards to putting furniture in a room. Yeah, I'm a visual person. I think it's great to be able to say, oh, that's what I can do with that room. We'll have agents say, hey, I want like a rustic feel. So we put rustic furniture in the room. I want more of a modern look. So you're able to do all of that. And we have a repertoire of like a bunch of different furniture that we can choose from to be able to set in that room and make sure that it looks good. We get that relationship with the realtor. We know what kind of style they like. Okay. And that's what we go with for that specific person. So I think it's fantastic. I'm pretty sure that you guys have to disclose that it was virtually staged too, correct? Mm-hmm. So, and it's actually getting tougher and tougher to tell that something's been virtually staged. Like even I do this for a living, and even sometimes I'm like, is that property virtually staged? So,
or were they really just that good?
Yeah, right. So, and that saves some time. I mean, back in the day, people had to actually bring in furniture or whatever if they wanted to stage a maybe super high-end listing, and you just don't have to do that anymore. I think it's really, really cool, too, in some cases where we've had the good and the bad with this. So let's say there's like a hole in the wall, all right? And they're like, can you virtually stage that hole?
I was just going to ask you that.
So here's where I stand on that. First and foremost, I will do anything that the client wants me to do in that regard. Yeah. Ethically speaking, from the realtor's perspective, here's where I say that. If they're going to fix the wall,
yes,
by all means, we're not going to come back out there and waste time. If they're going to fix the wall, let's just do it. But if they're not, it's like back to the room's bigger than it is. It's like that hole wasn't there before. Right. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I know there'll be some clients that'll be like, hey, there's this weird mark on the wall or this weird mark on the ceiling. Like, can you take care of that? Well, it could also be a disclosure thing. Like if there's a problem behind that, like, are you going to paint it? Are you going to take care of this? And if so, then the photographer can make it look the way it's going to look when you're showing. But you can't deceive.
Well, the mole on my back, I got to get it removed on Photoshop. So what are we doing here?
You couldn't use a tattoo.
Yeah.
You had to use a mole.
That thing up. My wife was like, that wasn't there when I married you.
So you said that typically for like a 3,000 square foot house, it takes about 45 minutes, right?
Yeah, it really depends. And a lot of that comes down to how prepared are we going into it. I mean, if we're walking into a 1,200 square foot townhouse, like our photographers, they shoot 3 to 4 houses a day. They can get in and out of there in 25, 30 minutes. And that doesn't mean they're not doing a good job. It means they're good at what they do.
Right.
And they're able to get in and out of there.
Yeah,
so,
you don't want it to take forever.
No, for sure. So, the quicker the better usually. We typically will get out there, do the photos anywhere between, I would say, a half hour to an hour, and then typically we'll deliver them within 24 hours. Actually, not typically. We deliver them within 24 hours. That's our guideline. So
That's quick.
yeah, for sure. It's a quick turnaround. We have someone that works nights that does the editing. So our photographers get them in, and then we send them to our editor. Editor gets them by the morning. So
That's important, though, in this market, because you got to flip it around, and especially with people writing an offer on, the sellers typically don't want to sell their house until they have somewhere that they're going.
Yeah.
But now they're under contract. Mm-hmm. Time's ticking. Mm-hmm. So it's that quick turnaround that's really important. Also, how long it takes, but also is there an ideal timing during the day? And also, like the weather, like today, it's raining outside.
Yeah.
Does that stop you from taking photos?
No, it doesn't. Typical time of the day, let's start with that. So we're in Illinois. Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Realistically speaking, it's really difficult to say whether or not a certain time is good because we don't know what, like, is your house facing north? Is it facing south? Is it facing east? Is it facing west? So where's the sun's location in comparison to where we're shooting at? So we can't necessarily say, 2 o'clock is good as a standard because we, again, don't know which way the sun's facing. The house is facing. Typically speaking, golden hour is always the best time to shoot something.
Yeah.
So like when the sun rises and when the sun sets, that's really expensive to have a photographer go out there at 6 a.m. for all of your listings. They call them twilights or dusk to dawn, stuff like that. So, but yeah, I would say golden hour is typically the best. As far as weather, no, because we can edit the sky now. Like if it's raining outside, you don't know it. We replace the sky. We are inside for most of the photos, so It doesn't really matter. I mean, you might be able to see it's a little dreary out there, but you're not looking out the windows. You're looking at what's in the room. So
yeah.
Some of my favorite photos are on rainy days.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everything shines a little differently. The grass seems a little bit more lively.
So in Hollywood, they actually will spray concrete down with water before they shoot, so that
To make it glisten? Awesome. Now, just for fun, do you have a favorite or most unique listing that you've ever shot? Like Michael Jordan's house or something like that?
No, I would have liked to shoot Michael Jordan's house. That would have been fun. That would have been a nice hefty bill for all the stuff they did on that one. Was that listed for like 3 years almost?
Oh, yeah.
Finally got it sold.
More than 3 years.
I guess when you have that much money, you don't really need to worry about selling. I had a husband and a divorced couple once. I haven't shot in like 10 years, so it's been a while since I've actually been in the house shooting. I handled more of the business aspect of things, so we have photographers and everyone on staff. But when I was doing it about 10 years ago, I had an ex-husband and an ex-wife that were still living together, and he refused to be involved in the sale of the home process, and he was coming down in his bathrobe. And he was not getting out of the photos.
During photos?
Oh, it was bad. Yeah, and it was super uncomfortable. And there wasn't much I could do. So I called the realtor up. I'm like, listen, this guy is not having it.
We're gonna have nudies here.
We're gonna have nudies. I'm like, we're turning this into a boudoir shoot, and I'm gonna make some extra money here. So no, I ended up having to go back when he was out, not in the house. So he was. Thank God one of our female photographers wasn't there because we might have had a lawsuit on our hands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a very sketchy individual. But yeah, that's probably the craziest one that I have. The one that I was walking into the house. This lady's mopping the dirt, like literally dirty floors are getting mopped, but they're like, it's like she didn't sweep before. So she's just like, it's like the vinyl flooring, all the cats and dog hairs everywhere. And she's like giving me suggestions on the photos to take. And at this point, I've like had it. Like I've been moving things around every room. I'm just like, and then she's like telling me to go upstairs, and there's a beautiful shot of the backyard, and the backyard's like 12 square feet. I'm like, I go up and take the photo for her, and like we didn't deliver that photo, so she got really mad that photo wasn't involved. So that taught me, no matter what, from the future on, if a client wants a photo, you deliver that specific photo because that was their pride and joy. So even if it's the worst photo you've ever seen. So. Yeah, the guy in the robe, I still have nightmares. So.
Oh my gosh.
So obviously you guys do the standard photos that we see online,
Yeah.
you know, the ones that are in the MLS and all that. But then you also do videos, and we were talking before about how you do like video tours with the realtors, and you also do talking heads. Can you talk to us about that? So like talking to a realtor, what other products do you have to offer?
Yeah, so that's something we've really expanded on over the last several years is the social media aspect of things. And I mean, I feel like they've been talking about how important social media is for, I don't know, 15 years now. It's
Oh yeah.
it's gotta shoot videos. I'm like, hey, I'm in the video industry. We should be shooting videos. But these short form videos are just so important, like 10 to 15 seconds of just showing you as a professional. Tips and tricks, different things inside your listings, getting 3 to 4 videos out a week, like even if it's just like you eating lunch, just gets you in front of that client and gets you in front of your people. So we've been really selling packages on structuring content days to get people, 8 to 9 videos for that month.
I love that.
Yeah, oh for sure. We script it for them. We block out like 2 to 3 hours for them to do it all. Read from a teleprompter. We've gotten people that have gotten better at it where they don't even need that anymore. Once you start getting in front of camera long enough, you start to get a lot more comfortable in front of it, and you just get a lot better with it. It's repetition. So that's my biggest thing on what we're pushing. Obviously, listing videos are always going to be a thing. Photos, 3D tours, those are all in the repertoire of what pretty much any good real estate photography company should be doing. And I obviously encourage all realtors to do listing videos on other listings, do photos on other listings, because it just shows that I'm an authority in this market. I'm selling these houses. Use me. But with the social media aspect of doing these multiple videos, that more so is just constant billboard advertisement in front of people's faces on their phones, always of, okay, this person is a realtor. I should refer my friends and family to them. Oh yeah, this is who that is. So
Yeah, top of mind.
Yep.
Basically what it is.
and it doesn't even have to be really in-depth stuff. Most of these videos are 10 to 15, 20 seconds and, briefly edited, but it's just something for our clients where they don't have to think about it. They don't have to shoot the video and then post it themselves. Like we post it for them. We edit it. We do all of that. And
That's awesome. I have a couple that are sitting, a lender who I was working with, they had like an event.
yeah.
And I have them sitting in my email, and I just have to post them, but I'm like embarrassed. I'm like, it's my voice.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, if you go to me, Vizimage's Instagram page, me and my partner Nick, we're always doing just stupid videos, and we started because we're always focused on doing other people's business, and we're like, dude, we need to start doing videos for ourselves. But it's so hard when you're always working on other people's stuff.
Yeah.
So we started doing that probably like 4 months ago, and literally the amount of phone calls that we've get just about like, oh, I saw your video. Can you guys help us with something like that? It's crazy how you don't think that will work, and then it just starts working.
Yeah.
It's just you got to put in the time and effort into it.
Yeah.
And you got to drop your walls
Yep.
and just say, I'm going to be silly. I'm going to take on this personality, and we're just going to go for it.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like, so personality's huge. So for you, you might be a silly person, or like, Joe.
That was my default.
No, for sure. But like Joe might be serious. So like maybe his videos are more serious or yours are more funny. And like that's how you cater to a personality is shooting videos around what that personality is. Because I'm sure, Joe, if I go to you for a mortgage, like I don't know what your personality is, but like if you're showing yourself as one way on social media and then I talk to you in a professional manner and you're like not that same person.
Yeah. You're like, what?
It doesn't match.
Exactly.
Right.
So you want to be authentic to who you are.
Right.
So that we really encourage that when we sit down with people and structure these videos. It's who are you, what are you trying to display, and how can we help you do that?
Consistency is the other thing. You can't just put 1 or 2 out there. You got to do it like it's a long-term game.
I'm so happy you said that. So Yeah, most of our packages are like 3 months, because if you're doing 8 videos for 1 month, it's like you just love bomb someone for a month and then you just disappeared.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm hot and I'm posting all the time, and sometimes I'm cold. It's just
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is really tough to stay consistent on social media. It's a full-time job, which is why you need to pay someone to do it. Just like being a realtor's full-time job, you need someone to do your photos.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, well, also like when the market picks up and we're really busy, like the last thing I'm thinking about is to market myself, because I'm marketing the houses. Like my job is to market
And
the
then
houses.
your kid's got a baseball game, or you got something going on, or
Right.
your
Life
water.
happens.
I love that,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
hey, Corey, where can our listeners connect with you and learn a little bit more about Vizimage?
yeah, so I think our biggest place to find us is Instagram or Facebook. We're constantly posting there. We're on TikTok as well. So socials is definitely where they can reach us. We have a website if you are a realtor and you're looking to book, vizimagerealestate.com. Book now. Our platform is fantastic. You can pick any time that you want, any of the services that you want. You'll get an email confirmation. You pay for it, and then we set up an account for you, and you can. Literally, we have marketing materials on our stuff that comes included with it. You get a listing web page with your listing.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, all of that stuff's included. So we try to make it as easy as possible on our realtors, because we know that you guys have other things going on. Right. So for us, it's how can we make your job as easy as possible? And then obviously our business line, 24/7. So you guys, we get texts, phone calls, we're answering and making sure that we can get you scheduled or answer any questions.
What's the phone number? Share it with the listeners.
It's-
You know what? We'll put everything in the show notes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to put the phone number, the website, and then all your social media handles all in the show notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Corey, thank you so much
Yeah, thanks,
for taking the time and joining us and sharing with us your expertise on all the photography in and outs and behind the scenes. You've really given realtors as well as sellers a lot to think about for when it comes to listing.
Yeah, this is a great conversation, and it's clear that great photography is not just about taking pictures; it's about creating a compelling story that actually sells. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for all of our listeners as well for listening to the Real Estate Ripple. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and share this episode with someone getting ready to list their home so that they can get wonderful, beautiful photos as well.
Until next time, see you later. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Real Estate Ripple. We hope you're leaving with a little more knowledge and a lot more motivation.
If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share the Ripple with someone in your network.
Thanks for tuning in, and remember, every ripple counts. We'll see you next time.